Hello, everybody. Snowflake here, and welcome to another episode of Skyrim. We are getting into the Dawnguard DLC. We're still, I feel like, only at the surface level, but we are starting to do some interesting things and learn some stuff. We did our first official Dawnguard quest, I guess. We went to Dim Hollow Crypt, and we were there to, I guess, figure out what the vampires were trying to find down there. And it turns out there was a hidden vampire who had been locked away, carrying an Elder Scroll. Her name was Serana. Um, she's quite well known to Skyrim players. Like she's one of like the favorite people, the most memorable from people who have played Skyrim. I haven't played Dawnguard myself, but one of the few things I knew about Dawnguard from before Skyrim was Serana. But yeah, we found her in the crypt, and we're going to find out more about her as we're going to take her to her family home and see who's there. Maybe it's a bunch of friendly vampires who are going to be nice and kind to us and not try and eat us. But hopefully they'll at least be grateful that we brought her back to her home. There's a word of power in there, which is like a vampire sort of power. Like drain vitality, I think it was called. We killed a dragon at the start of the episode as well, because we fast traveled to a dragon mound in order to get to the crypt. I think that's pretty much it. There was some vigilants who died. Vigilant Tolan, I think his name was the guy who said he was going to meet us there, and then died in like the first room. And the other vigilant, Adelvald, who had been studying the cave for a while, I think was the reason why we were going there in the first place, ended up dead as well towards the end. But yeah, Bloodline. While exploring Dim Hollow Crypt, I freed a young woman from an ancient sarcophagus. She asked me to guide her home to a castle off the northern coast of Skyrim. Let's do that. Interesting. Serana, listening here, she didn't want to come down here with us.
Sky-shattering doom. And so the tongues freed us from Alduin's rage, gave the gift of the voice, ushered in a new age. If Alduin's
Okay, it's time to go, Serana. Enough music. I thought the song was ending, that's why I stayed. Wait, Serana?
Let's get indoors. Or in a cave. Anywhere, just out of this.
Oh, the thrill of being outside is worn off, Mrs. Vampire, huh? Okay. Again, it's a castle far away from any known place. Okay, I think... Yeah, Shadow Green Cavern, which we cleared a while ago, is the closest we have. Still quite a distance away from this castle of hers. Alright. Well, here we go. Not everything's climbable. Cool. I definitely lost Serrano and Ayla. Unless Serrano can climb? No. Didn't think so. Get a little bit careful. Now we're fine. Ooh, is that it over there? No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so. Skeleton. A big creature over there. And a bear. Presumably somewhat responsible for that. Ooh. Safely does it. Raven Scar Hollow. Oh, it's a saber cat, not a bear. Either way. Well, it's at least a good checkpoint. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna quick save it, just in case. Okay. Someone got crushed under this. Oh, hello, Serrano. Scared me for a sec. Catch up better than Ayla does. Where is Ayla? Did I see some movement over there? Oh well. Serrano's good enough. Don't tell Ayla I said that. Ah, Hawker. Should have known we are near a coast. Ooh, mud crab there too. Here, the Nern root green. Wait, that was a... yeah. Just mine some mine. Sapphire. Oh, Ayla's found us too. Now look who decided to show up.
Where'd you come from?
The mud crab, I'm pretty sure it just, you don't ask it where it comes from. It's so weirdly shaped branch. I thought it might have meant something. Oh, there's a spider over there.
Where'd you come from?
Giant one, but it's already wounded.
Done and done.
Yeah. Why is it wounded? Who is it fighting? This mud crab? Did that much damage to the spider? Oh, there's a dead. Okay. There's another dead frostbite spider, and is that a dead hawker? Yep. Okay, other hawkers, that wasn't me. I have no hate for your species. Please do not attack me. Not that I'm scared at all. Like, hawkers are pretty easy. Ah, there's a lot of wildlife beefing around here. Mud crabs versus Those wolves? I mean, if the wolves were always going to win that one.
Who's there?
Ice wolves. Did I seriously just dropkick a wolf? And now Serana's got a pet wolf. Good for her. Ah, it likes her. And look how well it keeps up compared to Ayla. Got a little shipwreck over here. I wonder if that is quest related. This dude there. Gonna leave him be.
Who's there?
Oh, wait, what? I guess we're not leaving him be. Holy
That
crap,
answers
say it.
you.
Ayla's absolutely demolished them. Orphans here.
I knew I heard something.
Oh, not done yet. Bandit Highwayman.
Teach you.
Still detected. Oh. Oh, Serana's bandit. Nice. The annoying thing is you can't loot people. You can't loot people when Serana brings them back. That's the only annoying thing. How did she do a number on those banditos? Just blasted them with a couple of spells. Oh, okay. Barnacles. All of that. The fishing spot. Spanish is not having a very good day, is he? Yeah, that's the fishing spot. Was there not? Oh yeah, I was going to say, was there not two bandits? And I remember this guy is one of the bandits. I get my sneak up just for walking around him. That's cool. Steel warhammer. Okay, wine bottles, cheese. Are you going to be groaning the whole trip? Scroll of Blizzard. Oh, what, we can't use this to cook? That's very unfortunate. Oh, bandit is gone. I can take his stuff now.
Let's move faster. The sun is... That's not great for my skin, if you know what I mean.
Well... Okay. You can always swim. Is there another one I could take? Apparently. Alright, well, I guess there's more in there. Maybe this wasn't quest related. Doesn't matter though. Detected. Mud crab. He moved for 1-2. Is that a nice wolf or just a friendly neighborhood fox? I think it's just a friendly neighborhood fox. Oh. Oh my god. Did Ayla somehow... Ayla somehow go into beef with polar bears like 100 miles away. Suppose we better check it out, huh, Serana? Things she gets into. Oh my god. There is a whole war going on there. The hawkers are beefing and everything. Are you guys bandits? Aphis. Who are you guys? Aren't you companions? Aren't you the companions guy?
I always thought the new Harbinger would be taller myself.
Yeah, okay. That's Aphis from the Fighters Guild. I didn't realize they went on like road trips.
I avoid going to Eastmarch if I can. Something in the air. I think it's just too close to the border. Never should have come here.
Oh, okay. The hawkers are angry. Should we help our friends? We'll see how they fare. Well, he seems to be doing pretty well. Come on, Aphis. Oh no. Gonna need your buddy to help. Farkas. Oh, Farkas is here. So the companions just go on like random trips up north to fight hawkers? Right, good job, guys. As the Harbinger, I'll be taking my share of the loot, of course.
You've been a good friend to me. That means something. Vilkas said you're the new Kodlak. I don't know what that means, but you seem honorable, so that's good.
Alright. 12 of us here. Aphis is over there, probably fighting something else. Interesting. I might need all of the companions to come with me, though. Could be in some trouble. Things could be getting a little bit sticky icky. Okay, you're a friendly neighborhood fox. I don't know why I've started saying that all the time. Oh, this is a dock. So we need to take a boat to this castle. This isn't even it.
That's it, out there to the north. We used to keep a boat around here to get there and back.
Okay.
This is the part where we usually get in the boat. You with me?
I suppose so, as long as I don't get killed. You know what I mean? You said awful lot about you not trusting me. I'm about to get in a boat with you to presumably a vampire nest. So I'm trusting you a lot here, Serana. Let's travel to Castle Volkihar. Alright, well, maybe we put our weapons away just in case. Oh, you know what? Weapons out until, you know, these gargoyles might come out and start blasting. Okay. Seem right so far.
Okay, so before we go in there,
Oh wait, you were trying to talk to me before? What is it?
I wanted to thank you for getting me this far. But after we get in there, I'm going to go my own way for a while.
Aww.
I know your friends would probably want to kill everything in here. I'm hoping you can show some more control than that. Once we're inside, just keep quiet for a bit. Let me take the lead.
Okay.
Lady Serrano's been gone a real long time.
I feel like I missed some dialogue there because,
Keep your hands to yourself.
yeah.
Here we are. Ready to go in?
This is your
This is
home?
it. Home sweet castle.
It's impressive.
It's something, all right.
Alright.
Way I hear it, Lady Serrano's been gone a real long time. I watched the gate. Ain't much else to tell. I watched the gate. Ain't much else to tell.
Alright, don't need to tell us then. Okay, Volkihar Keep. What have you got to offer us?
How dare you trespass here? Wait, Serana? Is that truly you?
Everyone's reaction, it
I
seems.
cannot believe my eyes.
Oh. That's it, I guess.
My lord, everyone! Serana has returned.
I guess I'm expected.
I can't believe it.
Okay, well, this is definitely a vampire hut. Oh
My
boy.
long-lost daughter returns at last. I trust you have my Elder Scroll.
After all these years, that's the first thing you ask me? Yes, I have the scroll.
Dogs.
Of course.
She has the
delighted
scroll.
to see you, my daughter. Must I really say the words aloud? Ah, if only your traitor mother were here. I would let her watch this reunion before putting.
I don't want to know what they're eating. Oh, I can see what they're eating. There's people lying on the table.
Tell me, who is this stranger you have brought into our home?
This is my savior, the one who freed me.
Well, I'm waiting.
Waiting for what? Oh, okay. I assume he wants to talk to me.
I need to speak to you, stranger. Now.
Well, I'm allowed to... Oh, right, she's not even dead. Okay.
Well, I'm waiting.
And even she's, struggling. But we can just grab all of this stuff.
You are testing my patience.
Well,
For my daughter's safe return.
I
you
didn't
have
want to
my
talk to him.
gratitude. Tell me, what is your name?
I'm Snowflake. Who are you?
I am Harken, Lord of this court. By now, my daughter would have told you what we are.
Well, there were a few clues around this place that sort of led me to that. You're vampires.
Not just vampires. We are among the oldest and most powerful vampires in Skyrim. For centuries we lived here, far from the cares of the world. All that ended when my wife betrayed me and stole away that which I valued most.
Which is... Do I get a reward for finding your daughter? What happens now? What happens now?
You have done me a great service, and now you must be rewarded.
Yeah, I didn't want to push
There
it.
is but one gift I can give that is equal in value to the Elder Scroll and my daughter. I offer you my blood. Take it and you will walk as a lion among sheep. Men will tremble at your approach and you will never fear death again.
Okay, so he's offering me the chance to become a vampire. So I guess we have the opportunity to choose sides here. I'm a werewolf. What will happen if I accept your gift?
Yes, I can smell it on you. The power of my blood will purge that filth and make you whole.
Hey. That insults me and Ayla. And if I want to remain a werewolf?
I will banish you from this castle. I will spare your life this once, but after that, you are prey.
Oh.
Perhaps you still need convincing. Behold the power!
Oh. Oh, that's a scary vampire. Oh, fair enough. I'm just gonna keep grabbing stuff.
Do you need something?
Do you need something?
Potion of blood. The heck does a potion of blood do? I mean, I can guess it's vampire related. Equivalent to feeding on human blood. Vampires heal 100 points of health. Okay, so healing for vampires.
Do you need something?
Try and avoid talking to him again.
Something?
I can sit on his throne. I wonder if that will get him angry.
Do you need something?
Yes.
Do you need something?
That's for the dogs, I guess. Seems a little bit close.
Do you need something? Do you need something?
Do you need something?
I'm doing everyone a great service
Do you need
by
something?
taking some of the flesh and blood away from these vampires. I am serving the Dawnguard.
Do you need something?
I'm going undercover. Okay.
Do you need something?
I need training for
I
200
can crush
weapons.
skulls with the best of them. Let me show you a few things.
Yeah, let's just casually do that. Just gonna get us a level up. Almost. That's all the training we can do for this level.
Skyrim dry.
Do you need something?
What have you got for
I may
sale?
not have potions to block the sun, but I do have nearly everything else.
Okay, potions, aversion to fire, blacksmith's craft. Gonna need to check if I have a lot of these. Aversion to fire, blacksmith's craft. Got aversion to fire. Blacksmith's craft. Craft of alteration, illusion, resist cold, fire, magic shock. Cold, fire, magic. don't have shock, we don't have cold. Filter of haggling, resist magic shock. Resist magic shock. Don't have haggling or shock. In fact, we don't have money for that either. Ingredients. Nothing new. Book. Damage, health, fortify weight. Alright, we need both of those.
Until next time.
Yeah, no worries. Damage, health. Ectoplasm, troll fat. Do you even get ectoplasm in this game? Fortify, carry weight, wisp wrapping, scaly foliota. Cool.
Do you need something?
What have you got for
I
sale?
keep the forge running day and night, in case Lord Harkon needs anything.
So you have weapons, which I definitely can't afford. And armor. That's not bad stuff. Ingots, ores.
Until
enough.
next time.
Stealth?
Well met, brother. Well met, brother. Do you need something?
Pink armor?
Do you need something?
Okay.
Do you need something?
All fuel?
Do you need
That's
something?
all you've got to say?
Do you need something?
Oracle?
Do you need something?
Your
Do you
cattle?
need something? Do you need something?
Garrett?
Do you need
Do you
something?
need something? Do you need something?
Okay.
Do you need something?
Unlock door requires key. What's up here? Oh, we can grab the death bell.
Do you need something? Do you need something?
I'm guessing these are blood taps. Unlock door requires key. Grab the platter. Dagger, vampire boots, grab the goblet. And was Ayla not allowed in here with me? Activate Bloodstone Chalice. Can't do anything. I wonder if that's important. Ooh, bunch of books. Oh, a lot of books. Jeez, okay. Let's see. Azura and the box we've read. Brief history, I believe we've read all of them. Yep. Charwick Coninger Letters, Volume 3. I don't think we've read Volume 3. Mortal Blood. Which was probably a vampire book. No. Killing before you're killed. Yeah, we've read that. Colvin the Dragon, I'm pretty sure we've read. Yep. Action Tactics, Mystery of Talara Volume 1. Yep. Myths of Shiogorath, yep. Olaf and the Dragon, who we exposed a few episodes ago. Yep. Pension of the Ancestor Moth also sounds familiar. Cabin in the Woods. That sounds like a vampire tale. Okay, that one we haven't read. Wolf Queen, volumes 3 and 7. Okay, I think we've read all of those. Alright, I've got a few books to read, so let's get into it. Charwish Koninga Letters, Book 3. 13 Last Seed, 3rd Era 411, Wayrest, High Rock. My dear Koninga, please forgive the quality of the handwriting on this note, but I have not long to live. I can only reply in detail to one part of your letter, and that is that I fear Baliasir, contrary to what you've heard, is very much real. Had he been but a figment of that caretaker's imagination, I would not be feeling life ebb from me as I write this. Lady Morling has sent for healers, but I know they won't arrive in time. I just need to explain what happened so that you'll understand, and that all my affairs in this world will be ended. The one advantage of my condition is that I must be brief, without my habitually ornamental descriptions of people and places. I know that you will appreciate that at least. It started when I came to Wayrest, and through my friend Lady Morling and her court connections was introduced to Baliasir himself. I had to proceed carefully, not wanting him to know of our designs on Azura's star, which I presumed he possessed, given to him by his servant Hadwath Naveweir. His function in Queen Elizana's court seemed to be decorative, like so many of her courtiers, and it was not hard to differentiate myself from the others when we began conversing on the school of mysticism. Many of the other hangers-on at the palace can speak eloquently on the subject of the magical arts, but it seemed that only he and I had deep knowledge of the craft. Many a nobleman or adventurer who aren't mages by profession learn a spell or two from the useful schools of restoration or destruction. I told Baliasir quite truthfully that I had never learned any of that. Oh, but I wish I knew some healing spells of the school of restoration now, but I had developed some small skill in mysticism. Not enough to be a psychic, of course, but in telekinesis, password, and spell reflection I had some amateur ability. He responded with compliments, which allowed me to segue into the topic of another spell of mysticism, the Soul Trap. I told him I was unlearned but curious about that spell, and very naturally and comfortably I was able to bring up the subject of Azura's star, the endless well of souls. Imagine how I had to hold back my excitement when he leaned in and whispered to me, "If that interests you, come to Cliffix Cairn, west of the city, tomorrow night." I couldn't sleep at all. The only thing I could think of was how I would get the star when he showed it to me. I still knew so little about Baliasir, his past and his power, but the opportunity was too great to let pass. Still, I must admit that I held hopes that you would arrive, as you threatened you might in your letter, so I might have someone of physical strength to aid me in my adventure. I am growing weaker and weaker as I write this, so I must proceed with the basic facts. I went to the crypt the following night, and Baliasir led me through the maze of it to the repository where he kept the star. We were talking quite casually, and as he so often said, it seemed an excellent time for an ambush. I grabbed the star and unsheathed my blade at what I felt was amazing speed. He turned to me, and I suddenly felt that I was moving like a snail. In a flash, Baliasir changed his form and became his true self, not man or mer, but Daedra. A colossal Daedra lord who swiped back the star from my grasp and laughed at my sword as it thudded against his impenetrable hide. I knew I had been beaten, and I threw myself towards the corridor. A blue flash of energy coursed through me, flung by Baliasir's claws. At once I began to feel death. He could have smote me with 1,000 spells, but he chose the one where I could lie down and suffer, and hear him laugh. At the very least I did not give him that pleasure. Already struck, it was too late for me to cast a counterspell of mysticism, one to dispel the magicka, reflect it, or absorb it as my own. But I did still know how to teleport myself, what mystics term recall. What is this, League of Legends? To whatever place I had last fed a spiritual anchor. I confess that at the time I didn't remember where that would be, perhaps in Boreum when I arrived in the Iliac Bay, or in Cambria, or in Grimtry Garden where I met the caretaker, or my hostess's palace in Wayrest. I pray that I had not set the anchor last when I was with you in Morrowind, for it said that if the distance is too great, one could be caught between dimensions. Still, I was willing to take that chance rather than being the plaything of Baliasir. I cast a spell and found myself back on the doorstep of Lady Morling's palace. To be out of the crypt and away from the Daedra was a relief, but I had so hoped that I had been smart enough to cast an anchor near a mage's guild, or a temple where I could find a healer. Instead, knowing I was too weak to walk far, I beat on the door and was taken here, where I write this letter lying in my bed. As I wrote those words, dear Elisbetta, Lady Morling came in, quite tearfully and frantic, to tell me the healers should be here within but a few minutes. but I'll be dead if I know this last words, dear friend. Stay away from this cursed place, your friend, Charwick. Alright, sad end to that tale. Okay, Immortal Blood by Anonymous. The moons and stars were hidden from sight, making that particular quiet night especially dark. The town guard had to carry torches to make their rounds, but the man who came to call at my chapel carried no light with him. I came to learn that Moarth Pequeen could see in the dark almost as well as the light. An excellent talent considering his interests were exclusively nocturnal. Gee, I wonder if he might be a vampire. One of my acolytes brought him to me, and from the look of him I at first thought he was in need of healing. He was pale to the point of opalescence, with a face that looked like it had once been very handsome before some unspeakable suffering. The dark circles under his eyes bespoke exhaustion, but the eyes themselves were alert, intense, almost insane. He quickly dismissed my notion that he himself was ill, for he did want to discuss a specific disease. Medicine, he said, and then paused at my quizzical look. I was told that you were someone I should seek out for help understanding it. Who told you that? I asked with a smile. Tessina Grey. I immediately remembered her, the brave, beautiful knight who needed my assistance separating fact from fiction on the subject of a vampire. It had been 2 years, and I had never heard whether my advice had proved effective. You've spoken to her? How is her ladyship? I asked. Dead, Moarth replied coldly, and then, responding to my shock, he added to perhaps soften the blow. She said your advice was invaluable, at least for the one vampire. When last I talked to her, she was tracking another. It killed her. The advice I gave her was not enough, I sighed. Why do you think it would be enough for you? I was a teacher once myself, years ago, he said. Not in the university, a trainer in the Fighters Guild, but I know that if a student doesn't ask the right questions, the teacher cannot be responsible for his failure. I intend to ask you the right questions. And that he did. For hours he asked questions and I answered what I could, but he never volunteered any information about himself. He never smiled. He only studied me with those intense eyes of his, committing every word I said to memory. Finally I turned the questioning around. You said you were a trainer at the Fighters Guild. Are you on an assignment for them? No, he said curtly. Finally I could detect some weariness in those feverish eyes of his. I'd like to continue this tomorrow night if I could. I need to get some sleep and absorb this. You sleep during the day? I smiled. To my surprise he returned the smile, but it was more of a grimace. When tracking your prey, you adapt their habits. Interesting. The next day he did return with more questions, these ones very specific. He wanted to know about the vampires of Eastern Skyrim. I told him about the most powerful tribe, the Volkihar, paranoid and cruel, whose very breath could freeze their victims' blood in the veins. I explained to him how they lived beneath the ice of remote and haunted lakes, never venturing into the world of men except to feed. Moarth Pequeen listened carefully and asked more questions into the night, until at last he was ready to leave. I will not see you for a few days, he said, but I will return and tell you how helpful your information has been. True to his word, the man returned to my chapel shortly after midnight, 4 days later. There was a fresh scar on his cheek, but he was smiling that grim but satisfied smile of his. Your advice helped me very much, he said, but you should know that the Volkihar have an additional ability you didn't mention. They can reach through the ice of their lakes without breaking it. It was quite a nasty surprise being grabbed from below without any warning. How remarkable, I said with a laugh, and terrifying. You're lucky you survived. I don't believe in luck. I believe in knowledge and training. Your information helped me, and my skill at melee combat sealed the bloodsucker's fate. By the way, wasn't this called Castle Volkihar? It was, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was. So this is a particular vampire tribe that has existed seemingly for a while. I've never believed in weaponry of any kind. Too many unknowns. Even the best swordsmith has created a flawed blade, but you know what your body is capable of. I know I can land 1,000 blows without losing my balance, provided I get the first strike. First strike, I murmured, so you must never be surprised. That is why I came to you, said Moarth. You know more than anyone alive about these monsters, in all their cursed varieties across the land. Now you must tell me about the vampires of Northern Valenwood. I did as he asked, and once again his questions taxed my knowledge. There were many tribes to cover. The Bonsamu, who were indistinguishable from Bosma except when seen by candlelight. The Kirilf, who could disintegrate into mist. The Yekef, who swallowed men whole, the dread Telboff who preyed on children, eventually taking their place in the family, waiting patiently for years before murdering them all in their unnatural hunger. Once again he bade me farewell, promising to return in a few weeks, and once again he returned, as he said, just after midnight. This time Mervov had no fresh scars, but he again had new information. "You were wrong about the Kirov being unable to vaporize when pushed underwater," he said, patting my shoulder fondly. "Fortunately, they cannot travel far in their mist form, and I was able to track it down." "You must have surprised it fearfully. Your field knowledge is becoming impressive," I said. "I should have had an acolyte like you decades ago." "Now tell me," he said, "for vampires of Cyrodiil." I told him what I could. There was but one tribe in Cyrodiil, a powerful clan who had ousted all other competitors, much like the Imperials themselves had done. Their true name was unknown, lost in history. They were experts at concealment. If they kept themselves well fed, they were indistinguishable from living persons. They were cultured, more civilized than the vampires of the provinces, preferring to feed on victims when they were asleep, unaware. "They would be difficult to surprise," Mervar frowned, "but I will seek one out and tell you what I learn. And then you will tell me of the vampires of High Rock, and Hammerfell, and elsewhere, and Blackmarsh, and Morrowind, and the Somerset Isles, yes?" I nodded, knowing that this was a man on an eternal quest. He wouldn't be satisfied with but the barest hint of how things were. He needed to know it all. He did not return for a month, and on the night that he did, I could see his frustration and despair, for there were no lights burning in my chapel. "I failed," he said, as I lit a candle. "You were right. I could not find a single one." I brought the light up to my face and smiled. He was surprised, even stunned by the pallor of my flesh, the dark hunger in my ageless eyes, and the teeth. Oh yes, I think the teeth definitely surprised the man who could not afford to be surprised. "I haven't fed in 72 hours, I explained, as I fell on him. He did not land the first blow or the last. Oh, so the guy telling him about all the vampires was the vampire. I've read this before, and I actually forgot about that twist. I knew there was someone with an external, ulterior motive to take out all the vampires so that he'd be the only one left. But yeah, there you go. Okay. Cabin in the Woods. Volume 2, as told by Mogan, son of Molag. Molag Bal? Late one night, a few seasons ago, a soldier was returning home after several bloody battles. He decided he would save some gold and decided to cross the pine forest on foot. The first day of his journey was rather uneventful. The soldier stuck to the main path and kept a brisk pace. When it started getting dark, he set up his bedroll, built a small fire, and cooked up some rabbit he had caught. A fine day indeed, he thought to himself as he fell asleep. Partway through the evening, the soldier was woken up by soft sobbing in the distance. He grabbed his sword, assuming it to be a bandit trick, but pretended to sleep so he could get the jump on them. After a few minutes, the sobbing started moving away from his camp until he could no longer hear it. For the rest of the night, slept with one eye open. Day 2, the soldier awoke from what rotten sleep he could catch and started off through the forest at a quicker pace, intending to put distance between himself and whatever he had heard last night. As the day went on, it began to rain heavy, so the soldier built himself a little shelter for the evening so he could remain dry while he slept. It took him a little longer to fall asleep with thoughts of the previous night fresh in his mind, but he eventually slept. This time he awoke to sobbing that sounded like it was right outside his shelter. The soldier grabbed his sword and crawled out of the shelter. In front of the fire he saw the back of a ghostly woman sobbing into her hands. The soldier mustered his courage and asked her what was wrong. No answer. He began to slowly approach, but before he could reach her, she turned and screamed at him. The ghostly woman raised an axe and began to run at the soldier, disappearing before she made contact. The soldier took off into the night with just his sword in hand. He ran until the first light of dawn, where he started down the road again, as fast as he could move. The third day was bright and sunny, but the soldier, rattled and sleepless, didn't even notice. He moved as fast as he could, trying to get through the forest before nightfall. As darkness began to fall, he saw a cabin just off the road and thought to himself it would be a good place to hunker down for the night. After arriving at the cabin, he spent some time blocking the doors and windows. Nothing would get in. Despite his preparations, he could not sleep. He sat in what used to be the cabin's bedroom, staring at the barricaded doors, shaking. Eventually he could keep his eyes open no longer, and fell asleep. This time he awoke to laughing on the other side of the barricaded door. It sounded like the woman from before, but he refused to believe it was her. The soldier burst through the barricaded door into the main room to find the ghostly woman from the night before staring at the ground, laughing hysterically with axe in hand. He began to relentlessly attack the ghostly woman, but he could feel his strikes were less effective. He used a scroll of firebolt, which drew a scream from her, and she exploded, disappearing. The ordeal was over. The ghost was gone. The soldier slept well that night, and the next day made excellent distance through the woods. As the sun began to set, he came out on the other side of the forest and looked back, remembering the days before. As he turned and started walking away from the woods, he could swear he heard the sobbing again. Guess there's more to that book. Alright, bookcase. Wondering why Tom was walking. Okay, 2920 Evening Star, Volume 12. Wait, is that Evening Star? Okay, don't believe I've read that. Dancing Fires, Volume 1 and 4. We haven't read Volume 1. Aedra and Daedra. Oops. Argonian Account, Book 3. Subscribing. Drama Volume. Drama Inquiries, Volume 2. Ghost in the Storm. Nope. Corbin the Dragon, Graph. Nightingale's Fact or Fiction. Yeah, I thought we read that one. Code of Malakath, the Wolf Queens. I'm not sure about the Code of Malakath. Yep, we've read that one. And the Wolf Queen, we've got 2 to 7. Uncommon Taste and a Yellow Book of Riddles. Yellow Book of Riddles. Why have we? I feel like we have read a Book of Riddles. Apparently not that one. Okay. Alright, we've got a few more books to read then. First of all, 2920 Evening Star, Volume 12. Evening Star, Book 12 of 2920, the last year of the First Era, by Karlak Townway. 1 Sunstars 2920, Balmora, Morrowind. The winter morning sun glinted through the cobweb of frost on the window, and Almalexia opened her eyes. An ancient healer mopped a wet cloth across her head, smiling with relief. Asleep in the chair next to her bed was Vivek. The healer rushed to a side cabinet and returned with a flagon of water. "How are you feeling, goddess?" asked the healer. "Like I have been asleep for a very long time," said Almalexia. "So you have 15 days," said the healer, and touched Vivek's arm. "Master, wake up, she speaks." Vivek rose with a start, and seeing Almalexia alive and awake, his face broke into a wide grin. He kissed her forehead and took her hand. At last there was warmth again in her flesh. Almalexia's peaceful repose suddenly snapped. "Sopha Sil!" "He's alive and well," replied Vivek, "working on one of his machines again somewhere. He would have stayed here too, but he realized he could do you more good working that peculiar sorcery of his." The castellan appeared in the doorway. "Sorry to interrupt you, master, but I wanted to tell you that your fastest messenger left late last night for the Imperial City." "Messenger?" asked Almalexia. "Vivek, what has happened?" "I was to go and sign a truce with the Emperor on the 6th, so I sent him word that it had to be postponed." "You can't do me any good here," said Almalexia, pulling herself up with effort. "But if you don't sign that truce, you'll put Morrowind back to war, maybe for another 80 years. If you leave today with an escort and hurry, perhaps you can get to the Imperial City only a day or two late." "You certainly don't need me here?" asked Vivek. "I know that Morrowind needs you more." 6 Suns Dust, 2920, the Imperial City, Cyrodiil. The Emperor Raymond III sat on his throne, surveying the audience chamber. It was a spectacular sight. Silver ribbons dangled from the rafters, burning cauldrons of sweet herbs simmered in every corner. Piandoni and Swallowtail swooping through the air, singing their songs. When the torches were lit and servants began fanning, The room would be transfigured into a shimmering fantasy land. He could smell the kitchen already, spices and roasts. The potentate Vasidius Shea and his son Severian Chorak slithered into the room, both bedecked in the headdress and jewelry of the Saci. There was no smile on their golden face, but there seldom was one. The Emperor still greeted his trusted advisor with enthusiasm. "It's ought to impress those savage dark elves," he laughed. "When are they supposed to arrive?" "The message has just arrived from Vivek," said the potentate solemnly. "I think it would be best if your Imperial Majesty met him alone." The Emperor lost his laughter but nodded to his servants to withdraw. The door then opened and the Lady Corda walked into the room with a parchment in her hand. She shut the door behind her but did not look up to meet the Emperor's face. "The messenger gave his letter to my mistress," said Raymond, incredulous, rising to take the note. "That's a highly unorthodox way of delivering a message." "But the message itself is very orthodox," said Corda, looking up into his one good eye. With a single blinding motion she brought the letter up under the Emperor's chin. His eyes widened and blood poured down the blank parchment. Blank that is, except for a small black mark, the sign of a Morag Tong. It fell to the floor, revealing the small dagger hidden behind it, which he now twisted, severing his throat to the bone. The Emperor collapsed to the floor, gasping soundlessly. "How long do you need?" asked Severian Chorak. 5 minutes, said Corda, wiping the blood from her hands. "If you can give me 10, though, I'll be doubly grateful." Okay, so she killed the Emperor? "Very well," said the potentate to Corda's back as she raced from the audience chamber. "She ought to have been an Akaviri. The way the girl handles the blade is truly remarkable." "I must go and establish our alibi," said Severian Chorak, disappearing behind one of the secret passages that only the Emperor's most trusted knew about. But it always happens, doesn't it? The Emperor's secret passages, found by someone about to assassinate them. "Do you remember, close to a year ago, your Imperial Majesty," the potentate smiled, looking down at the dying man, "when you told me to remember? You Akaviri have a lot of showy moves, but if just one of our strikes comes through, it's all over for you. I remembered that, you see." The Emperor spat up blood and somehow said the word, "Snake." "I am a snake, your Imperial Majesty, inside and out. But I didn't lie. There was a messenger from Vivek. It seems he'll be a little late in arriving." Potentate shrugged before disappearing behind the secret passage. "Don't worry yourself. I'm sure the food won't go bad." The Emperor of Tamriel died in a pool of his own blood in his empty audience chamber, decorated for a grand ball. He was found by his bodyguard 15 minutes later. Corda was nowhere to be found. 8 Sun's Dusk, 2920. Caia Suvio, Cyrodiil. Lord Glavius, apologizing profusely for the quality of the road through the forest, was the first emissary to greet Vivek and his escort as they arrived. A string of burning globes decorated the leafless trees surrounding the villa, bobbing in the gentle but frigid night breeze. From within, Vivek could smell the simple feast and the high, sad melody. It was a traditional Akaviri wintertide carol. Vasidius Shea greeted Vivek at the front door. "Glad you received the message before you got all the way to the city," said the potentate, guiding his guest into the large, warm drawing room. "You are in a difficult transition time, and for the moment it is best not to conduct our business at the capital." "There is no heir?" asked Vivek. "No official one, though there are distant cousins vying for the throne. While we sort the matter out, at least temporarily, the nobles have decided that I may act in the office of my late master." Vasidius Shea signalled for the servants to draw 2 comfortable chairs in front of the fireplace. "Would you feel most comfortable if we signed the treaty officially right now, or would you like to eat something first?" "Intend to honor the Emperor's treaty?" "I intend to do everything as the Emperor," said the potentate. 14 Sun's Dust, 2920. Telarune, Morrowind. Corda, dusty from the road, flew into the Night Mother's arms. For a moment they stayed locked together, the Night Mother stroking her daughter's hair, kissing her forehead. Finally she reached into her sleeve and handed Corda a letter. "What is it?" asked Corda. "A letter from the potentate, expressing his delight at your expertise," replied the Night Mother. "He's promised to send us payment, but I've already sent him back a reply. The late Empress paid us enough for her husband's death. Mephala would not have us be greedy beyond our needs. You should not be paid twice for the same murder. Rose is written." Damn. So, 2 people tried to hire the Night Mother or the Morag Tong to kill the Emperor. "You killed Risha, my sister," said Corda quietly. And so it should be that you struck the blow. Where will I go now? Whenever any of our holy workers becomes too famous to continue the crusade, we send them to an island called Velura. It's not more than a month's voyage by boat, and I've arranged for a delightful estate for your sanctuary. The Night Mother kissed the girl's tears. You meet many friends there, and I know you will find peace and happiness at last, my child. 19 Sun's Dusk, 2920, Mournhold, Morrowind. Almalexia surveyed the rebuilding of the town. The spirit of the citizens was truly inspirational, she thought, as she walked among the skeletons of new buildings standing in the blackened, shattered remains of the old. Even the plant life showed a remarkable resilience. There was life yet in the blasted remains of the columbrine and rubresh shrubs that once lined the main avenue. She could feel the pulse. Come springtide, green would bolt through the black. The Duke's heir, a lad of considerable intelligence and sturdy Dunmer courage, was coming down from the north to take his father's place. The land would do more than survive. It would strengthen and expand. She felt the future much more strongly than she saw the present. Of all the things she was most certain of, she knew that Mournhold was forever home to at least one goddess. 22 Sun's Dusk, 2920, the Imperial City, Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil Lion is dead, announced the potentate to the crowd gathered beneath the speaker's balcony of the Imperial Palace. But the Empire lives. The distant relatives of our beloved Empire have been judged unworthy of the throne by the trusted nobility who advised His Imperial Majesty throughout his long and illustrious reign. It has been decided that as an impartial and faithful friend of Raymond III, I will have the responsibility of continuing on in his name. The Akaviri paused, allowing his words to echo and translate into the ears of the populace. They merely stared up at him in silence. The rain had washed through the streets of the city, but the sun for a brief time appeared to be offering a respite from the winter storms. I want to make it clear that I am not taking the title Emperor, he continued. I have been and will continue to be Potentate Residue Shay, an alien welcome kindly to your shores. It will be my duty to protect my adopted homeland. And I pledge to work tirelessly at this task until someone more worthy takes the burden from me. As my first act, I declare that in commemoration of this historical moment, beginning on the 1st of Morning Star, we will enter year 1 of the Second Era as time will be reckoned. Thus we mourn the loss of our imperial family and look forward to the future. Only one man clapped at these words. King Trozel of Senchal truly believed that this would be the finest thing to happen in Tamriel. In history, of course, he was quite mad. Just wanted to check how many of these books he's read, because I think there's one for each month, right? This was 12. So we've got 1, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and now 12. So we're missing 2 to 5 and 9. Cool, so that was, I guess, the end of it. Dance and Fire, Volume 1. Dance and Fire, Chapter 1, by Warring Jarth. I think we have... Yeah, we have read this. I don't think I've updated my list since last time. Or was it Volume 4 that I was missing? Okay, Ghost in the Storm by Adonato Liotelli. For many years now, I have travelled the length and breadth of Skyrim, writing of my experiences and my adventures. I have seen many wondrous sights and many strange creatures in my travels, but one encounter remains fixed in my memory, though I wish it were not. I had taken up travelling with one of the Khajiit trade caravans that crisscrossed Skyrim, peddling their wares outside the gates of the large cities. We were nearing Windhelm when the storm struck. It was a violent and terrible gale, one of the very worst I have seen in all my long years. The winds howled like all the danger of oblivion, and the driving snow made us blind to the world. Risard called a halt. Oh, have we met Risard, or got a quest related to him? Isn't the book, the journal we have, like Risard's journal? Risard called a halt, and we staggered from the road, our hands held over our faces to ward off the stinging pellets of ice. We huddled together in the shelter of a copse of pines. There was no hope of raising our tents. The wind would tear them from our hands the moment we unpacked them. They struck at the height of a storm. There were perhaps half a dozen of the creatures. It was difficult to say, as the blowing snow and howling wind overwhelmed our sight and our hearing. I was going to say maybe ice wraiths, but now it says they were roughly man-size, but hunched over and ugly. For garments they wore only rags and leathers. They were armed with daggers and swords of various kinds, no doubt scavenged from their previous victims. They had no noses to speak of, only long slits for nostrils. Trolls? Their ears were sharply pointed, suggesting a distant kinship with the elves. With their pallid skin and lifeless black eyes, they seemed like something out of a nightmare. Bisha saw them first, but too late to save herself. Isn't Bisha the name of one of the Kashyyyks in the Shivering Isles? I feel like it was the cat in Dementia that the guy that was scared of cats was scared of. Anyway, so loud was her death cry, we heard it over the roaring winds. That cry saved us all. Alerted to the presence of our foes, the Kashyyyk drew their blades and formed a circle, facing outward. The white fiends were too few to surround us completely, and the Kashyyyk fended off each attack. After 3 of the snow devils had fallen, the rest fell back and did not come at us again. The storm abated, and we arrived in Windhelm the next morning. I've taken up residence in Candlehalf Hall, and find I am quite comfortable behind the towering stone walls of the city. Comfortable, at least, until I go to sleep, and visions of those awful creatures return to haunt my dreams. Okay. And finally, Yellow Book of Riddles. Yellow Book of Riddles. For earnest pleasure and the strengthening of the mind, the author here collects all that he has learned of the art of riddling by dint of diligent study and through years of discourse with others of similar inclination. The posing and puzzling of riddles is a convention of polite aristocratic Western society. Nobles and social aspirants collect books of riddles and study them, hoping thereby to increase the chances of their appearing sly and witty in conversation. A metal neither black nor red, as heavy as man's golden greed, what do you say to stay ahead with friend or arrow or steed? The answer, lead. Okay, come back. Metal neither black nor red. I wouldn't have got that. A man says, if you lie to me, I will slay you with my sword. If you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell. What must you say to spell alive? The answer, you will slay me with a sword. Oh yeah, like paradox, yeah. A Bosmer was slain. The Otma claims the Donmer is guilty. The Donmer says the Khajiit did it. The Orc swears he didn't kill the Bosmer. The Khajiit says the Donmer is lying. If only one of those speaks the truth, who killed the Bosmer? Bosmer was slain. Otma claims the Donmer is guilty. Donmer says the Khajiit did it. Orc swears he didn't. Khajiit says the Donmer is lying. Donmer says the Khajiit did it. If only one of these speaks the truth, who killed the Bosmer? Bosmer killed himself, maybe? The Alba said the Donmer is guilty. The Donmer says the Khajiit did it. Yoke swears he didn't kill the Bosmer. So if the Khajiit says the Donmer is lying, and let's say he's telling the truth, that means the Donmer is lying and the Khajiit didn't do it. Oh, but if the Orc says he didn't kill the Bosmer, and he's telling the truth, that means everyone else can't be telling the truth. So the Orc must be lying. Khajiit says the Donmer is lying, and the Altma claims the Donmer is guilty, and the Donmer says the Khajiit did it. If only one of those is telling the truth, the Altma claims the Donmer is guilty, Khajiit says the Donmer is lying, only one of those is true. So either the Donmer did it, or he didn't. I mean, I know. Oh, so the Khajiit and the Donmer accused each other, okay. The Orc swears he didn't do it. But can't. Altma claims the Donmer is guilty. Khajiit says the Donmer is lying. Only one of those things is true. Wait, if Adama and the Khajiit accuse each other and the orc says he didn't do it, alright, I'm gonna get someone on this. Only one of you speaks the truth. Who killed the Bosma? We've got to start somewhere, okay. Let's say that Altmer is telling the truth. That means the Dunmer is guilty. And the orc would also be telling the truth. Okay. So either the Altmer or the orc is definitely lying. Dunmer says the Khajiit did it. But that would also mean the orcs would also not be... The Dunmer and the orc can't be both telling the truth. The Khajiit says the Dunmer is lying. Dunmer says the Khajiit did it. So if the Dunmer is lying, Dunmer says the Khajiit did it. So if Dunmer is lying, and that's the truth, that means the Khajiit didn't do it. So either the Bosma or the orc is telling the truth. Sorry, or either the Dunmer and the orc is telling the truth, or the Khajiit and the orc. I know it. I think I know it. I think I got it. Like the Dunmer, either the Dunmer and orc both contradict each other, and the Khajiit and the orc both contradict each other. So, in order for someone to be telling the truth, if the Dunmer and Khajiit accuse each other, one of them's telling the truth. Which means... Yeah, okay, so the Dunmer and orc both can't be telling the truth. The Dunmer and the Khajiit can't both be telling the truth. Orc. Okay, so if the Dunmer's telling the truth, that's impossible. Because the Dunmer says the Khajiit did it, then the orc would also be telling the truth. If the orc is telling the truth, that means the Dunmer's lying. But then the Khajiit would also be telling the truth, because then the Dunmer's lying. Okay, I've got it. And if the Khajiit is telling the truth, then the Dunmer is lying. If the orc's telling the truth, he didn't kill the Bosma, and the Dunmer's lying by saying the Khajiit did it, and the Khajiit saying the Dunmer's lying is also telling the truth. So if the Khajiit's telling the truth that the Dunmer is lying, that means the Dunmer's lying because he said the Khajiit did it, and that means the orc is lying as well. So the only possible way for one of them to be telling the truth is if there's 4 people here. Damn it. Okay. Alright, we will solve this riddle. Okay. Let's start from the Altmer. My brain's a bit fried. It's a bit hot, so I apologize. Start from the Altmer. Claims the Dunmer is guilty. If that is true, the Dunmer is guilty. And therefore the orc would also have to be telling the truth, because he swears he didn't do it. So, Altmer's not telling the truth. Dunmer says Khajiit did it. For that to be true, the orc would also would not have killed the Bosma, so that's also not possible. The Dunmer is lying. Orc swears he didn't do it. If that's true, then the Alba's lying, Dunmer's lying, Khajiit says the Dunmer's lying, and the Dunmer said the Khajiit did it. And the Khajiit would be true. So therefore the Orc cannot be telling the truth. The Khajiit says the Dunmer is lying. If that is true, then the Dunmer is indeed lying, so the Khajiit didn't do it. The Altmer claims the Dunmer is guilty. That would have to be a lie by process of elimination. That's a lie. And then the Orc swears he didn't kill the boss, and that has to be a lie. So if Dunmer didn't do it... So if the Orc's lying, then it has to be the Orc. I guess. And that's what the answer is. I hope my explanation was logically sound. But I think we got there. Alright. Ooh, moon sugar, skooma. Empty skooma bottle. These guys are allowed to have a good time. Right, close. Ayla's not with us, so we can't drop our stuff. Unfortunately. Woodcutter's axe is worth double. We have an empty skooma bottle. We actually do. And empty wine bottles, but they're actually worth something. It's just over 4. What else? Loot is 6. Yeah, Risard's notes on bandit attack. So Risard, yeah, is important. Okay, free weight. Okay.
Do you need something?
Do you
Needs
need
key.
something?
Alrighty then. I think that's about as much as we can explore of this place because everything is locked.
This is the power that I offer.
The power
Now,
to look ugly.
make your choice.
Oh, there's another doggy up there. I don't want to become a vampire. I refuse your gift.
So be it. You are prey, like all mortals. I banish you.
I don't want to leave. Oh. Guess I'm leaving. Well, at least he didn't kill us. Seems like it would have been very easy for him to do that. Oh, there you are, Rayla. Right after I had to get rid of all of my stuff. Oh, right. Coming to. Alright, so we've been banished from... That is Castle Volkihar, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because I know the book Immortal Blood is in Oblivion as well. So they wrote that story before Skyrim. Cool. So we can only get here through boat, I guess, from Icewater Jetty, I guess. Can we fast travel from here without having to get on the boat? Yes.
Well, if it isn't the slayer of the Glenmoral witches, how can I assist you, companion?
Alright. And we will drop our stuff off as well. Do some alchemy. All that human flesh we took from them. Oh, we got a level up. Both in alchemy and as an actual level up.
We
Okay.
drink to our youth, to
That was an invitation to sing. Okay. Increases your stamina by 10 points. Why isn't it increasing my carry weight then? Huh? Interesting.
days come and gone, for the age of aggression is just about done. We'll drive out
Come
the
on.
storm cloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home. Down with
That binding bow, that was from a previous quest, wasn't it? I must have forgot to drop it. I think. Who even knows? I think I drank something by accident. Hopefully it wasn't skooma. Moon sugar. We actually haven't we've never eaten moon sugar before. I guess we should probably find out what effect it might have on us. Oh, we have never actually come across moon sugar. So we will not eat this, we will put it away instead. Oh yeah, we've got some wine, some meat. Yeah, that can go. Yeah, still. I'm thinking maybe we cut down on food since we are carrying a lot of potions anyway. Maybe we say we only carry 5 of each. Except for stuff with multiple effects. I don't even know if this is going to make a significant difference. Okay, I accidentally ate a honey nut tree. That's a bit of a waste. Okay, that's at least makes it a little bit more bearable.
Oprah, the killer of kings, on the day of
Alright, we'll wrap things up there then. So we completed the quest Bloodline. We brought Serana back home to her castle, a very impressive looking castle, which apparently has an ancient and very powerful vampire cult. So I'm guessing they will be our main enemies, or they could have been our allies. We were given the choice to join, was it Harkon? Yeah, Harkon and his crew of vampires and become a vampire. We just got given a yes or no, and we had to answer there and then, and I said, you know what? Nah, I'm already a werewolf, I'm good. And then he banished us from the castle, as he promised he would. He said he'll let us go this once, but then from now on, I'm his enemy, and I'm not looking forward to having to fight more vampires. Well, I guess as a gamer I am, but my character probably isn't looking forward to it particularly. Yeah, so we still are none the wiser as to what the vampires want with Serana, what the Elder Scroll is capable of. In fact, they have an Elder Scroll in their possession is concerning. We are choosing to go with a Dawnguard in this playthrough. One interesting thing is I did look this quest up beforehand. Not all the details of it, mind you, but just enough to see what would happen if I went a certain way. I was interested to know if it was possible to bring Serana back to the Dawnguard home. And you actually can bring her back there, but as soon as you get near the Dawnguard hideout, she just says something like, I don't like this place, I'm going to wait outside. Like she can sense that there are vampire hunters in there. And she does know already that you're from like a vampire hunter clan. And if you go inside and talk to Isran and say, hey, I brought this vampire with me who has an Elder Scroll, even he tells you to bring her back to a vampire castle to like find out more, I suppose. So yeah, that's what happens. If anyone was wondering why didn't I bring Serana back to the Dawnguard, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But yeah, that's done. In the next episode, we got the quest A New Order. I rejected Harkon's offer to be turned into a vampire, and now I need to return to Isran and tell him what I've learned. And that's what we'll do. And now guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one, particularly the riddle towards the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.